E3 2012 is finally over, and after everything's said and done, I can finally give my thoughts about what happened. And if you've known me long enough, you know I'm just going to talk about Nintendo. I did see Microsoft's press conference. I didn't get to see Sony's because I couldn't find it anywhere, but at that time I just lost all interest. Most people were complaining about the Microsoft press conference. I thought it was boring. Yeah, it was. But Nintendo's press conference made me furious. And let's go over why that is. First off, and I'm going to talk about the only good thing they did, was that they talked about Pikmin 3. It was the first game they showed off. They had that nice little segment with Miyamoto. But after that, it just... yeah. For the most part, the third-party support were ports that we already knew about. They don't look any different than the ones that came out months ago, which really won't impress the hardcore crowd. And it doesn't really seem like there's that much of a difference except for how you play with them. Yes, gameplay will always be more important than graphics, but you can't use current-gen graphics for next-gen graphics. It just looks lazy. Yes, it's in high definition, but it doesn't look any different. While some of the third-party games do interest me, they were mostly all the games that we saw last year. In fact, most of what we saw at E3 was from last year, and I'll go over that later. During the half of it, Nintendo showed off more casual games, and that was it. They brought up the 3DS for like 5 minutes, most of the time just talking about go to Nintendo.com to watch us at E3 press conference or whatever. And I'm just sitting there going, talk about new games, talk about new games, talk about new games. This message has already been delivered to us plenty of times at the beginning of this E3 press conference. And the only games that they showed off were games that we already knew about. So, yeah, and before I go any further, I'm not interested in New Super Mario Bros. 2. I've lost all interest in that because it doesn't look any different. Yes, you have the Tanuki suit that can fly again, but I'll just go play Super Mario Bros. 3. This doesn't even have online support. There's no online co-op. And it doesn't look any different than New Super Mario Bros. On the DS, and most of you already know how I feel about that game. I thought that was boring and easy, and the only new feature so far about this one is collecting a bunch of gold coins. Huzzah! For their impression on this, it doesn't look good, and I'm skipping it. The other games that Nintendo had shown off were from themselves and other third-party games that were, well, casual marketed, I guess. You had Lego City Undercovers, but it doesn't interest me at all, and we already knew about it from last year as well. Then you had Just Dance 4, don't care. Then you had Sing, don't care. Then you had Wii Fit U, don't care. Finally, topping it off with Nintendo Land. Ugh! Not another minigame collection. And that's all it really is. Now, I've heard someone say that this might be bundled with the Wii U, and that's basically the only way you would ever get me to have it in my house. Because I would not spend money on it. I wouldn't. If they bundle it, okay, that's fine. But otherwise, I'm not even going to look at it when I get to the stores. And let's see, what else do we have here? As far as New Super Mario Bros. U goes, yeah, we kind of knew about that one already, but it still doesn't look any different. It doesn't look like there's any new moves. As far as the new power-ups go, the squirrel thing, yeah, why not just bring back the cape? Well, I don't know. I guess we're going a little too nostalgic lately, so I guess maybe it was good that they didn't bring back the cape. Though it does look like it's kind of the same features, although you can't fly. You can glide and you can go higher, but you can't really fly with it, I guess. You have the 4-player co-op support again, and this time it can actually be with 5 players thanks to the Wii U controller, but yeah, it's still not incredibly it's not the most enticing game, I should say. And if this doesn't have online co-op support, I'm going to skip that as well. After looking at the E3 press conference, I just want to say that what they did wrong was they talked about everything we already knew about. There was basically no new information shown. Yes, they showed off how Batman Armored Edition will work on the Wii U, but it's still not a new game, and I don't feel like it's going to have enough new content to make the hardcore audience go out and buy the system to play it, if the PS3 and 360 version are basically the exact same thing with just a few less features. Just a few. To be honest, I already kind of figured how these games would be played after last year's press conference. I mean, I could easily put 2 and 2 together. You just knew it was going to be a bunch of menu cycles. And using the Wii U controller to move the batarang around, I hate to say it, but if they don't do it right, it's going to come off as incredibly gimmicky. There, I said it. And once again, they showed off all the other third-party support games that we knew about from last year. Some of them I'm interested in, but at the same time, it's not going to appeal to those who already have the game. They needed to have some new games. People who already have Mass Effect 3 probably aren't going to buy a Wii U just to get Mass Effect 3 for this. I don't see how they would. I mean, unless there were other games that they were interested in, but they probably already have them all, and that's the problem. Most of those hardcore gamers who are fans of Batman Armored City, Arkham City, sorry about that, Ninja Gaiden, and Mass Effect, they already have them. And all the other games that Nintendo was showing off at their press conference just looked like they were targeted towards the casual market. And the only Nintendo game that interests me at all was Pikmin 3. And it bothers me that that's not a launch title. That's a launch window title. That means that it's not going to be there when the system launches, it's going to be there about 3 or 4 months after the system launches. And that's kind of what they said. And I also get this feeling that Nintendo did not show us everything that the Wii U can do. For example, you remember the leaked trailer for Rayman Legends, and it showed the scanner on the controller? Well, did Nintendo ever talk about that feature? I certainly don't remember it. Which leads me to think, maybe there are some other things that the Wii U can do, but they're not telling us. But at this point, who's listening? All gamers were focused on the big companies. Hey, like I said, even I was watching Microsoft. I wanted to watch Sony. I didn't get to see it, but I heard that there wasn't anything all that new, so there's no point. And with Nintendo, they're launching a brand new system this year, and yet it still feels like they're holding back information. Yes, I knew that they weren't going to talk about the launch date or the price of the system. Oh, and this is my educated guess. We're going to see the Wii U launch the Sunday before Thanksgiving. That's when I see it. Going by the track record, that's when they're going to launch it. So that's what kind of concerns me right now, is that Nintendo did not tell us everything, and it did not look good for them. If you're excited for the games that I'm not interested in, cool. I hope you enjoy them. But this was not the best way to go. I can understand why there wasn't a mention of Super Smash Bros. They just started on it. A little detail would have been nice. Just one piece of information would have been cool. But no, we didn't get that. They didn't mention Zelda at the press conference. Though when Miyamoto was interviewed, he was asked about that and said that it's currently in development. They're trying out a bunch of different ways that they can have it play, and when they finally pick the right one, that's when they're going to show it off. Or at least, at the very least, we know they're working on it, which is all I wanted them to say. I was really disappointed that we didn't get to hear anything about a Star Fox, a Metroid, or an F-Zero game. And yet, still, all we get is Wii Fit U and Nintendo Land. That's really what bugs me. They went back for casual instead of going after their fan base, what we have been wanting to see. I can understand that they're not ready to show them yet. But the games that they did show off just don't feel that exciting to me, except for Pikmin 3. If you're thinking that I'm being really negative here on this, it's because I'm concerned. I'm really worried about this. Because most of all, Nintendo did not explain anything new or show us anything new. It just felt like they were repeating the same thing as last year. And that kind of wasted everyone's time, in a sense. Before I end this video, I'm just going to say these are the games I'm looking forward to on the Wii U. These are the games I plan to get, or at least have an interest in. Even though I was criticizing Batman Arkham City for being basically the same thing as the PS3 version, I'm still going to get it because I don't have the PS3 version, and I was waiting to get it on the Wii U. There's more of a difference. I just hope that my patience pays off. I'm actually kind of interested in the Aliens game. I'm not really into first-person shooters, but that one does kind of interest me a little. Let's see, what else? There's definitely Pikmin 3. And even though it's not a launch title, and that hurts, I do plan to get that one as soon as it comes out. I've been waiting 8 years for that. I want it. And it'd be really nice if it had online co-op support. That would be really nice. I haven't heard if it can or can't, and I'm sure somebody in the comments is going to tell me. And what else do they have? Ninja Gaiden 3. I kind of want to get it, but I heard a lot of mixed reviews from the last one and a lot of negative reviews about it as well. I'm hoping that the Wii U version makes up for it. And there was one game shown off in the trailer of games that actually really does interest me a lot, and that's Tank, Tank, Tank. I like battle tanks, and I want to get this game. I do like blowing stuff up. Even in a colorful environment, actually, especially in a colorful environment, I love blowing things up. I mean, that's why. That's one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of Bomberman. But the only other game I have an interest in, or that I'm gonna keep an eye on, is that Project I-100 or Project P-100? You know, I'll keep an eye on that one, just to see how it develops. But that's basically it. To me, E3 this year for Nintendo was just nothing but old news. And that's it. Oh, and one more thing. I guess one more game that I'm going to get. And that is definitely, hands down, Rayman Legends. I have not got Rayman Origins yet, and I plan to before Legends comes out, so please don't flood my inbox. I plan on it. Do not worry. Don't waste the comments. But I think that's probably like the biggest game I'm looking forward to on the Wii U right now. And if I ever had to choose between Rayman Legends and New Super Mario Bros. U, I'm going to go with Rayman Legends. That's just because it's an experience that I haven't really played yet, but I've heard a lot of really good things about it, especially from the first one. Rayman Legends, there's a lot of cool stuff in there, and it looks more interesting and a bit more challenging than New Super Mario Bros. U, so there you go.